Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat and welcome to another episode of Fil-Am in Focus, a program by the Asian Community Development Council or ACDC, wherein we discuss successes, issues, challenges, and opportunities affecting Filipino Americans. Ako po ang inyong host, Edelweiss Rivera Solano. Today's episode is about National Voter Registration Day, which takes place tomorrow, September 17. And joining us today on Fil-Am in Focus is my good friend and colleague, Eric Zheng. And Eric is the Executive Director of 1APIA Nevada, a 501c4 state-based organization founded in 2018 to establish a year-round advocacy and organizing infrastructure to win equity, justice, and political empowerment for the Asian and Pacific Islander community. And Eric also serves as the senior advisor following his previous role as the Director of Outreach and Civic Engagement for the Asian Community Development Council, founded in 2015 to improve the general well-being and education of the Asian Pacific Islander and other ethnic communities in Nevada through civic engagement, family services, and coalition building. So Eric, I'm very thrilled to have you here in Family in Focus.
Thank you, Vice, and thank you for letting me be here and share about a very exciting day tomorrow.
Yes, and actually this is the first time that I'm sitting with you and interviewing you for the first time.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and it's so cool that you have a radio show and that we get to watch on YouTube on different streaming platform. So yes, first time guest, long time listener. I think that's long time followers.
Oh wow, thank you. And so let's begin with telling us about first 1APIA Nevada.
Yeah, so 1APIA Nevada, we started out as when Asian Community Development Council, ACDC, start growing, we start registering a lot of voters. To date, ACDC since founding has registered more than 42,000 people to vote. And then the next thing our community members ask is, once we're registered to vote, who do we vote for? How to vote? We know there's a lot of noises, there's a lot of campaign ads. People want our community's attention. People want to say, because you're Asian, because you're a Filipino American, you have to vote a certain way to certain candidates, certain party, or certain campaigns. And our job is now growing as a 501c4, which is for advocacy and for political empowerment. We understand that our community's vote is important. We understand that now it's not only the margin of victory, it's now the recipe to success for any candidate. So our job is to build an year-round advocacy and organizing infrastructure, meaning that compared to campaign, which is great, but they invest in a cyclical basis. That means if there's campaign time, you see a lot more activities, and then once the campaign is done, win or lose, they will come back next campaign. So that's why we started 1APIA Nevada back in 2018, and this is my fourth kind of elections. But also, during the time that's not election, we try to educate our community on the importance of getting involved, including going to our state capital and going to our nation's capital. It's a way that we want the community to have the voice and being able to feel like we always have a voice and feel like we have a consistent way of studying these policies, from healthcare, education, to housing, to economy, to things that a lot of your listeners, a lot of people we serve care a lot about. So how do we make sure that the resources and policy align with our community's interest? So that's 1APIA Nevada.
And through education and being in the community, that's how you provide information to various communities, not just the Filipino community. And tomorrow is a very important day because it's National Voter Registration Day. And how is it important for people to be aware of this day?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way for me to promote both ACDC and 1APIA Nevada. Voter registration kind of is the 101 of civic engagement, meaning that we give our community the power to be represented and start with voter registration. It's not, oh, you're registered to vote, you go out and vote, and that's great. But it's the beginning of the journey of being more involved. So voter registration, we have been doing it in a way that makes sure that we can tell the elected officials, we can tell the people that have the power to decide resources, how things are spent. We can say this is the community that's growing. This is the community that's registered and ready to vote, and making sure that their votes are appreciated and valued. So it starts with voter registration, but it doesn't end there. For us, the voter registration tomorrow is the National Voter Registration Day. It's national, and we have done a lot of events together with One API Nevada and ACDC. So this is a great way for people to be reminded, because the voter registration deadline on paper, the paper registration deadline is on October 8th, so 3 Tuesdays from now. But then people can still do same-day registration. Our job is to make it as easy as possible, and now with National Voter Registration Day, make it as fun as possible.
And you make it fun by having an event tomorrow, which is, what do you call the event?
So tomorrow, we love doing this. We have Puppies and Boba. So tomorrow in Vegas here, we have starting at 4 p.m. at the Red Ridge Park on RB Avenue. So in Southwest, I think 215 and Durango, right by the Durango Casino. That Red Ridge Park, we will do Puppies and Boba, meaning people get to bring their dog, their pets, and then we will sponsor boba. So it's a community, it's a fun event. People come together and then talk about why it's important for them, and then we promote voter registration. And we're doing the same thing in Reno too. I don't know if we have any listeners here from the Northern Nevada side, but we're doing the same thing at the biggest little dog park in city of Reno. So we're excited. It's something that I know. I go to dog park. I see a lot of Asian community members. I see a lot of Filipinos there, and we want to bring our pets, share our joy, and also making sure that it's a fun event. Yeah.
And you bring people. Everyone can register to vote on that day too. And it's really a coordinated field, digital and media action starting tomorrow, which is really focused on sharing democracy and being just communicating the importance of registering to vote. All right. And then people ages 18 to 29 make up 20% of voting eligible population in the United States, and it continues to grow every year. How are you reaching the younger voters this year?
This is exciting. So tomorrow, outside of our events, starting at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., I forgot what's the first class of high schools are, but our team will also be at Shadow Ridge High School. We are slated to go to a lot of different high schools to register the senior class. In Nevada, we can pre-register folks when they turn 17, so they're automatically registered by when they turn 18. But then we are also tabling on college campuses. We're engaging young people in different ways. I think it's important. I really love the saying is, all the young folks, they have their own culture. They're not letting their titos and titas. They're not letting their Lola pick out what they're wearing for that day. And for their future, they have to speak up as well, because I think that's something that we're seeing in Nevada, where the youth community is really involved, and we want to make sure that people don't keep repeating the Gen Z this, Gen Z that, millennial this, millennial that. These are all hardworking young people trying to make sure that they can participate and make the world that they are coming into, becoming an adult into, has a place for them and has a place for their voices. Yep.
And I see a lot of the younger generation are very, very involved, not just in like phone banking, canvassing, and really encouraging a lot of our community to get to vote and register actually to vote too. So
yeah, and this is a state of about 3.1 million people right now in the entire state of Nevada. For Asian and Pacific Islander population, we have more than 400,000 people now. And out of that, we believe a good 45% are people that have Filipino heritage. So that means Filipino Americans in the state is about 180 to 200,000 of our population. And of course, when it comes to vote share, comes to voters, anyone that's eligible, that if you're U.S. citizens, if you're not U.S. citizens yet and you're sitting on your green card, you should talk to Vice about citizenship, and you will be a first-time voter too.
Yes.
We're very proud of that, and being able to exercise that power, being able to say the Filipino community is coming out and making sure that no one take their votes for granted, I think that's an exciting thing, because people care, no matter which party, they care about having a good environment for their family to thrive here. And I think that's something that no matter if you're first-generation immigrants to fourth or fifth generation folks that's been here, I think that's something we do to honor the sacrifices, the kind of immigrant families, but it's also honor the next generation and the generations to come to build this community up together.
I agree. Like what you said, there are so many opportunities like provided by those who came here before us, and at the same time, there are also several reasons why our like other Filipino voters and majority of the API voters may not feel engaged in the election because they may feel that their voice is not heard, or it won't change anything, or it will not affect them. But what do you see are the barriers also that affects the voters?
I think on one hand, we're here in Vegas. We're 8 weeks. No, we're 6 weeks from the election. Fact check me that, but election's November 5th. We get to do early voting starting October 19th, Friday, October 19th. And a lot of time, people don't feel engaged, or people don't feel like, because there's so many different information that's bombarding us. If you go online, if you go watch TV, you see the political ads, you see different people, talking heads. And we know from the top of ticket, Trump and Harris are both, and their team are doing a lot in Las Vegas to get this critical block of votes for the Asian American votes. So a lot of time people don't feel engaged because I don't feel like it's genuine to just asking the communities if they can come out and vote for particular candidates during election time. And we are also seeing that it's not just on the presidential, and well, we have a U.S. Senate race, we have a congressional race, but it's also making sure from the kind of the down ballot, as they say, which means state legislature, people that we have more representation. We feel that the community have more of a say. So I want to shout out to my good friend, but it's also now our Assemblywoman Erica Mosca. She is the first Filipino Assembly member that we have. And hopefully she's the first, but there should be a lot more to come. And that's when the community really feel represented, is having someone that have the lived experience. Her dad immigrated here from Philippines and really worked his way and provided a better future for his family, but also making sure, I'm pretty sure Assemblywoman Mosca is really trying to honor that by getting the resources in. And hopefully, knocking on wood, we get to see more legislation that speaks to our community, that honor our community in the times to come.
That's true. And I believe also it's one of the barriers to certain communities that they face is the language. And I see that your organization is also providing resource guides that are translated into different languages. So how important is it to have those materials in language?
Yeah, and I think this is the exciting part. In Clark County, since 2010, since the 2010 census, we have enough of the Filipino population that now Tagalog is federally required language to put on the ballot. So you can request to register to vote in Tagalog. You can vote in Tagalog on the voting machine. And there will be Tagalog as in the voting materials, voter guides, and we have so many ways to participate. For this coming election, not only the early vote is a full 2 weeks from October 19th to November 1st, we also have the mail-in ballot. People can mail it back, people can drop it off, and of course on election day. So that is 4 different ways for people to vote. And you get the information in Tagalog and in English, you can request that. So we were trying to make sure voting is not a chore. Voting is a duty, but it should also be fun, easy, and accessible thing to do for such an important and sacred thing we have.
I like what you said. It must also be fun and easy thing to do. And actually, when I registered to vote, I selected to have a Tagalog ballot.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and that was really an exciting thing to have, like, and to receive that in Tagalog version. Wow, it was like. To have it in my language, wow, it's what a different feeling to have that, and also to have the resource guide, because you passed that out during the event, especially like yesterday in Reno. And so the ballot, the voter resource guides were in different languages, such as not just Tagalog, it was in Thai, Vietnamese, Bengali.
Yep.
Wow, it was amazing to have those in different languages for the communities to understand.
Yes. And I think the exciting thing is I'm sitting here in PHLV studio. Across the street, the Seafood City has been a long time early vote location for the community to come out. So, by early vote time, come grocery shop, get ready for, I think that's Halloween time. Do your grocery shoppings here, and then you can easily vote there. Drop off your ballot or vote in person. Or if you're not registered to vote but you're eligible, you can go there and register same day in person, just across the street at Seafood City.
Okay. For our listeners and viewers, so where can they find those information that you just mentioned? Like, where can they go aside from Seafood City, like register to vote? Where can they find those information?
So the easiest way is go to the nonpartisan government website, vote.gov, vote.gov, vote.gov. And then also come to ACDC's Nevada's website, acdcnv.org. We were sharing a lot of information on ACDC's website. Our website, One API Nevada, will also have those information, oneapinv.org. But also, since I memorize a lot of things, the Clark County Election Department's phone number is 702-455-8683 or 702-455-VOTE. And you can call them to check on your status. You can call them to see if everything's good on you and your loved one's voter registration status. If not, we have until October 8th. And what better day to do it than tomorrow, doing puppies and boba at the Red Ridge Park to make sure your voter registration is up to date. So that's something I'm very excited about. I'm bringing my puppy there, and I'm pretty sure I already put down my payment for a free boba.
Oh, so yes, free boba. Kaya kung may mga pets po kayo, mga fur babies, punta po kayo sa Red Reed Park tomorrow, 4 o'clock. And mag-enjoy din po kayo ng boba. And of course, register to vote with One APIA Nevada and as well as ACDC. And Eric, so as the Executive Director of OAN, what are your goals for Nevada for NVR Day tomorrow?
For National Voter Registration Day, of course, if I can register as many voters as possible, I think in the past, we have done with high schools and with the registration day statewide, we would love to register at least 500 people to vote. And of course, we would love to see people from the community. One of the coolest things in the Nevada voter registration is you get to say place of birth. You get to say you can put in Nevada if you're born here, but we're seeing a lot of people when they're naturalized citizen, they put Philippines. So we are able to show both on the county side and Secretary of State to everyone that's in public office, there's a lot of people from this community that has become a U.S. citizen and now ready to make sure their voices are heard. So that's my goal, to get as many folks as registered as possible, but also letting people know that it's easy, it only takes 2 minutes or less, and being able to make sure that you can exercise that civic power.
And then how else does One APIA Nevada serve the community aside from not just during the National Voter Registration Day?
Yeah, and so we're encouraging people not just register. So the next part is getting out their vote and making sure they make the informed choices. We know a lot of time we're seeing people, I encourage people to do their own research and look at the record of the candidates, what the vision they provide, but it's also seeing the track record of people that have they deliver for our small businesses, for our immigrant families, for our hardworking Nevadans. And that's our job too, as One API Nevada, we go to state legislature, we go to Washington, D.C., to make sure the people that say they represent us really know where we're coming from and the issues closest to the community. So yes.
All right. Before we close, Eric, is there anything other advice that you would like to tell our community, especially the Filipinos?
So I think that's the exciting part. I have a lot of colleagues, great colleagues like you, that's fluent in Tagalog, that's from the Philippines. And over here at One API Nevada, I'm going to do a quick promotion too. We're looking for targeted community organizers. So if you speak the language, if you're from the Nevada Filipino community, if you love the community, want to learn more how to get involved, check out our website. We are hiring for community organizer right now. But it's also for me to humbly learn. I grew up in Taiwan. It's the next island from Philippines. So, but it's also a very different culture. But when people come here, we're all a big family. And how do we make sure that we find common grounds and common issues that we can really advocate about and fight for those resources to win equity for the community, to win justice for the community, and making sure that we have a long-term sustainable power building together that become a force to be reckoned with. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Eric,
Thank
for
you.
the great advice. And para sa ating mga viewers and listeners, kung hindi pa po kayo, kung eligible permanent resident kayo, ang ACDC po ay nandito para tumulong sa inyo mag-apply ng inyong naturalization application form. Pumunta lang po sa aming website, acdcnv.org, at makakatulong po kami sa inyo. At kung kayo ay naturalized citizen at new American voter, bumoto po kayo para let's advocate po para sa ating mga yung mga issues po natin na naapektuhan at yung mga binavalue po natin katulad ng healthcare, education, immigration, health, access po sa yun nga po, immigration, at saka mga healthcare din po katulad nung yung sinabi rin po ni Eric. So pumunta lang po at i-visit nyo rin po ang One APIA Nevada para sa mga information tungkol sa mga voter pag-register to vote at mga iba po pang mga programa at issues na kanilang pinupush po. So again, thank you po for listening and watching Fil-Am in Focus, a program by the Asian Community Development Council. At inimbitahan din ko po kayo muli pumunta po sa Red Ridge Park bukas 4 p.m. ang event po ng One APIA Nevada Puppies and Boba. So, see you po tomorrow. And again, thank you, Eric, for joining us today. And abangan po ang aming susunod na episode. Hanggat sa muli.
Thank you, Ate.
Thank you.